Good evening. God bless everyone on this, the Lord's Day. We're so grateful to be coming before you again with another exciting program entitled Reliable Sources. And so we're here and we're glad. And as we often tell you, um, sometimes you can have a reliable person. And if they're bringing you some information that they haven't researched, uh, they're relying. And so we're trying to smother, drown the source of relying to the best of our ability, and we need your help. We're so grateful. We thank you for sharing, Keisha. I appreciate you locking in. Great program in store on today, and we're glad about it. And so we're going to wait just a couple of minutes and give a couple people an opportunity to hone in as we get ready to go forward and share and have an outstanding time on today in reliable sources. And we're going to hopefully, prayerfully, get some feedback from you all today about life issues. What do you see happening? What do you think is going to be taking place? In our world, in our country, in our state, in our city, our community, on our jobs, in our economy, and so forth and so on. So we're going to be getting some of this information prayerfully from you on today. So I want you to put your thinking caps on, your suggesting caps on, and I want you all to talk to me and tell me what do you see that's about to happen, what you feel, what you think that's about to happen. And then I want you to tell me what can happen, what do we need to do to change things, to make things be different. So, thank you again for honing in, Tanya and Keisha. And again, we appreciate it. And you can see in the background our theme, our title for this program entitled Reliable Sources. And anything that we bring to you from any subject, any topic, um, we pray that we can make it plain that we've done our homework and that the sources are reliable, impactful, and can enhance all of us and make all of us better. So we're extremely excited about reliable sources. So Tanya and Keisha, thank you for sharing. I'm gonna put you on the spot, and I want you to put your thinking caps on, and I want you to write on the screen. What do you think, or what do you see that's going to happen to our economy? Do you see food prices increasing, the cost of living increasing, gas prices increasing? Um, I'm gonna give you both. I'm gonna give you a few moments to, unless you already have it together, to answer that question for me. What do you see our our gas prices going? Where do you see our food prices going? Where do you see our economy going? Do you think the mortgage rates, interest rates on homes are going to increase, decrease, level out? I want to know your spin, what you think. I want to know why you think what you think. Um, and again, we're throwing it out there to be able to sharpen our mind and make us better. I want you to stay tuned because probably at the end of the program, if not definitely next week, we're going to be talking about habits, developing good habits, breaking old habits, how are habits formed, how long does it take habits to be formed, how it's very intriguing and very interesting to me to talk about habits because um, sometimes we unconsciously pick up habits, and this is a scientific truth as well as a spiritual truth because God dropped this in my spirit. Some people develop Alzheimer's or their thinking become limited because they're not consistently exercising their brain. Like in other words, we got to do something, if not daily or every other day, at least weekly, to challenge our mind, to make us think different, better, so that our mind is always active. And so we're gonna get into that. We're gonna be talking about all of these fantastic things. So, um, in the meantime, I'm throwing this out to you first, Keisha. Tanya, we're going to come back to you. What do you see our economy going, and how do you see us fixing it? How do you see it getting repaired? And want your opinion on where we're going, and then we'll move on from there. Thank you for honing in, Melanice. I'm gonna throw a question at you next, as we go forward. So, Keisha, take that away. Answer that question for me. Increase first. So you think the economy? This is from you, Keisha. You think the economy, which is just talking about everything, um, is going to increase first? The gas prices, the food, everything. You think everything is going to increase first? Is that what I'm getting from you, Keisha? And if your answer, okay, that's yes. Why do you see that, or what brings you to that point? I want you to get ready, Tanya. We're coming to you next. Tell me why you think we're going to get an increase first, Keisha. I hope you're still there. Okay, I see increase first, and that's what you believe. Okay, we'll let you put your answer together. Tanya, tell me what do you see things going? Um, I mean, do you see it stabilizing? Talking about oh, wow. Okay, Tanya, you gotta answer here. All right, gas prices are increasing as we speak. Just yesterday, I paid $4.99. Wow, a gallon, and Friday the same gas station is $5.19 a gallon. So I believe we're going to have an increase in a lot of things. The food prices are up now, and I believe they're going to be like this for some time. Wow, wow. Okay, that's a very good response. I mean, it's not what we want to hear, but I hear the ring of reality kicking into that. Why do you think that's the case, Tanya? And I want you to know that I agree with you and Keisha. I agree with both of you. But why do you think why do you think that's the case? Okay, Keisha, you say you think it would be like this for a while. I don't see it stabilizing anytime soon. So I guess what you both are saying, and you can let me know if I'm reading you both right, is that it's just going to be flip flopping, because I can see it's like a 20 cent difference in a matter of days for the gas that Tanya saw and paid in 2 days, $4.99 and $5.19. So there's a fluctuation there. Why do you think um, why do you all, both of you, Melanie, you can hone in too. Why do you think that the prices or the economy is going to be fluctuating? And I'll wait for both of you to hone in on that. Okay, Keisha. Wow. Man, that, I mean, it's laughable, but it's true. Somebody Keisha, paid $5.63 for their gas. Well, by our church, I didn't have any cash yesterday, and I had to get gas, and I paid 509. I never thought that I would see the day that I would do that. but that was high to me. But good gracious, Tanya's 519, and the person you knew, Keisha, that paid 563. That's enough to take you back. So, can either one of you give me an idea of why you think it's going to remain there? Gas prices, food prices. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Very good. Very good point, Tanya. With what's happening in our nation, with the wars that's going on, the things are going to be a little pricey. I totally agree with you. Melanice is honing in. The economy is failing. Melanice believes due to lack of the flow of money from hand to hand. The economy can only grow when people are buying things so much online, Bitcoin, etc. Okay. Keisha, I see you agreeing with Tanya because of the war. So Melanie, that's a bit that I mean, y'all are bringing out some good points, and you're really very intriguing. So Melanie, what you're saying is because of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and people buying online, and they're not basically buying stuff hand to hand. Um, you believe that's the reason that the economy is there's a lack of flow of money. That's why the economy is failing. Um, wow, and the money they're getting back from COVID. All right, So all right, I'm gonna come back to you. I see Linda says she's agreed. She agreed. I'm gonna come back to you, Keisha, Melanice. But now it's cheaper to buy online. Uh, so what you're saying is, we need to regulate what and how much we spend online, and it's almost like like society is trending us to buy online. I mean, and again, this is just my observation. Like everything is trending or forcing us to buy online. Let me show y'all something that's going on. And then I'm gonna get back to the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency because a lot of contracts, especially professional athletes, they're getting some of their money in Bitcoins now, cryptocurrency. I mean, millions of dollars worth. But let me tell you something that's happening to me, and I feel you. I hear you, Melanies. I see you. Linda Greed is using excuses to raise prices. That's true. That is absolutely true. It's almost like they're taking advantage of this rising prices or unstable economy. You're absolutely right. They're using excuses and they're taking advantage of us. If we as a nation could come, Tanya said, could come together as one and help one another, maybe things will change. That's true too, Tanya. But y'all, if we did this, which Keisha, I know this is not, it's going to be hard to do this, um, is boycott everything. This is not going to happen because you got so many people that can afford to purchase whatever they want to purchase, be it homes, automobiles, clothes, sending children to college, food, etc., etc., etc. So it's going to be it's going to be hard to boycott. I mean, you think about all of the millionaires that we have in the world today. It's going to be hard for them to boycott, but they would have to look down at the middle class, those below middle class, and have a heart of compassion for them because they can afford to do and to buy whatever they want to do and buy. But I just want to share this with you all. This is how messed up stuff is. Um, um, we had my car's in the shop. My car has been in the shop twice for a month, and I moved it from one dealership to another dealership, and all of them are telling me the same thing, which is there's a parts backup. I needed a catalytic converter, and I'm trying to call this other part. They got the one part and they don't have the catalytic converter. And I was explaining to the guy today, can you tell me when my car is going to be ready? Because I'm renting the car and it's tearing my pocket up. My insurance company is only going to pay for so much of it. The rest of it's coming out of my pocket. And he couldn't tell me. And he says Ford has the part. They're just sitting on it and they won't allow him to get it. And so I say, well, you're going to have to regulate this price for me because my car's just sitting there. I could have it sitting at home or driving. As a matter of fact, I even asked him, could I drive it and bring it back? And he said, oh, no way you can do that. But my point of emphasis is what Linda said earlier. Greed is using excuses to raise prices. Now, he gave me an approximate price before I took the car to him. And that was quite a few days ago, almost 2 weeks ago, to this other dealership. So I'm wondering what their excuse is going to be. Greed is using excuses to raise prices. Keisha, I totally agree with you. It was a setup from the start. And the solution, one of the solutions is what Tanya is saying. If the nation could come together and help one another, maybe things will change. But I mean, who can we get that's influential? That's in, that can pull from both sides. The middle class, the lower class, or the poor and the rich, and say, all right, let's come together and let's make things better for everyone. I mean, who could we get? Now these are some great. I really like that. We really, as a nation, if we can come together. But I know y'all know as well as me, this is the most divided time our nations have ever been that I can remember. We've dealt with racism and economic separation before, but never to this extent. All right, Melanie's just saying our gas prices could be rising because so many people now are investing in electric cars. True. How could gas companies raise any economic flow without the flow of money coming in? So it forces an increase in prices. That's true. Yeah, but you know what I was thinking about today? All of y'all, Keisha, Mel, Thelma, Velma, rather, and Marcinda, and hello and God bless Marcinda. Keisha, all of y'all, I was thinking today, with gas prices going towards $7, well, $6 and $7, I was thinking today, depending on how far you drive, it might be cheaper to drive than to fly. When you think of how far you're going and how many times you got to stop and gas up and the size of your gas tank, man, like my flex, it's going to take, let me say it like this. It's going to take, when the gas was like $3 a gallon, it took like $55 to fill my flex up. So now you add an extra almost $3 to that. That's double the price. So that means I'm gonna pay over $100 right now to fill up my car. So think if I'm going to Mississippi and I got to stop 3 times. I'm just giving that as an example, which I'm going to have to stop 4 times. So I'm going to, I got a 100, 200. Yeah, I'm going to be out of over $400. Mind you, that's one way. Coming back, if I got to stop 4 times, That's $800, y'all. So it might be cheaper to fly. Maybe that's why planes are so full, because depending on where you're going, it's cheaper to fly than it is to drive. Man, it's really something. And then, very good point, Melanie. The electric cars. So if I'm not getting money from that, I'm going to have to get money somewhere else. We were somewhere yesterday, Pastor and I, and was it yesterday? No, it was Saturday. We went to Ann Arbor to Ruth Chris for her birthday dinner. And every time we got ready to park in the structure, we couldn't park because it was for electric cars. It was like, we don't have an electric car. And so we had to ride around. So my point of emphasis, just adding validity to what Mel is saying, is electric cars is sort of forcing their way into the economy. So now we got that, and now we got the gas prices. And so it's really something that we're going to have to really deal with and pray about. And I see you, Tanya. The division is caused by money and power. One wants to control the other and not compromise and help one another. It's so true. And it's so true. And really, it's really a power struggle, because if you get in power, depending on what it is, you're going to get the money. And that's why we have such a political fight now, because they're getting in power, they're getting money, and their mindset is, I want to stay in power, because I got a chance to get all this money if I stay in power. Rick, you're so right. Supply and demand. There is a supply and demand, and y'all know the country will never be like it used to be. I mean, it's changing right before our eyes. And I was thinking, Melanie and Linda, Tanya, all y'all, Keisha, Rick, Marcinda, all y'all. I was thinking how anytime we get access to something, especially electronics, telephones and stuff like that, they already got something in the pipes that haven't come down yet. And so what we literally have in our hands is old, because they're always advancing, especially again with electronics. So, it sort of keeps us behind the eight ball, so to speak. Things are changing, and it's hard to really catch up. Another thing, so many people are still working remotely, and demand is not high for the use of gas. The demand for gas is no longer high. Okay. Now, Melanie, I hear what you're saying, but now wasn't, and I think Linda, you're very familiar with this too. Wasn't they like pretty much forcing people to come back into the workplace, or are people still, a lot of people still working remotely? I thought I saw some kind of report a little while back where they were pretty much making people, certain companies anyway. I don't know how widespread it is, but they were sort of making people come back into the workplace. But yeah, Marcella, you're absolutely right, baby. They're always ahead of us. We're always playing catch up, and so wow, we're gonna have to really stay prayerful, really stay alert, and listen. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I think it was Keisha that mentioned about we have to be in unity. If one of us finds something that's advantageous to them and is working for them, I think that we have a God-given obligation to share it. Like if you find, just say, the best gas area or the best place to shop for food or whatever the case may be, I think we should share it. I mean, really share it with everybody that we come in contact with, instead of saying, well, you know what? No, they're going to run out. So I want to keep my stuff. No, I think we should share it. All right. Melanie, you said another thing. Many people are still working remotely. And, oh, okay. I see that. We just went through that. All right. You're always a step ahead of, okay. Some have been forced back. Okay. Yeah, I saw some of that. But several have quit jobs to find a job work. I saw that too, where they can still work remotely. So, Mel, let me ask you something on that. Is that because they got comfortable working from home? They don't want to go back into the building or the workplace, or they're going to get more money working from home, or a combination of both? Are they concerned, genuinely now concerned about diseases and stuff, or what have you? Tell me what you think about that. As a matter of fact, all of you can tell me what you think about that. Okay, there's some doing both months or weeks at home. All right, Keisha, I see you. Then weeks or months at work. Yeah, yep. That's true. I know. That's a very good point. Some people have they're now telling them so many days or so many weeks in the office or in the building, so many weeks, so many days out of the office. You're absolutely right with that, Keisha. Okay, and hybrid work. Okay, Linda's just saying what you said, Keisha. Repeat. Um, that means, is that hybrid, Linda? That's what that means, hybrid work. So many days at the office, so many days at home. If so, let me know so I can put that in the database in my mind, and I can just call it hybrid work as well. Okay. Thank you for the education and for the heads up. Okay. People they're very comfortable, and they discover they can be as effectively or more effective at home just as they can in the actual building. If that's really true, let me ask you something, Melanie, or all y'all. So how do you monitor me? If I'm working from home, how do you monitor my lunch? How do you monitor that I'm working? I mean, is there a certain amount of work that you can tell that I'm supposed to have done? How do you know if I'm taking one lunch break or four? I mean, I really, I'm not being facetious. I just want to know, how could you monitor me? How could I do um, you know, and okay, and you can say it's like golf, and what I mean by that, it's a gentleman's game. You keep your own score, but even playing golf, some people cheat, and they don't keep their own score appropriately. So I want y'all to tell me, you monitor me. I'm working for you, Keisha, Melanie, Linda, Marcinda. I'm working for you. So monitor me. How you gonna know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, or how I'm working? All right, if I gotta have a certain amount of work, as long as I get that work in, how do I handle that? Okay. People have learned to master productivity. Okay. All right. So long as I produce, you don't keep. Well, I mean, if that's all you want is production, and I'm not being monitored, yeah, I want to work from home too. I see Tanya got something here. The computer that the company supply you with tells how long you're online. Okay. But can I have my computer on and go in the other room and watch YouTube or something? As long as I'm doing what Melanie said, I'm being productive. It's part of the problem, Linda says. Why they want people in the office. Honor says, that's the word I'm looking for. Linda, that's what they call it in golf, the honor system. Some people cannot be monitored. All right, okay. I'm good. That's exactly the way it is. We're going, because we'll come and pull all our scorecards together, especially if it's like 16, 18 of us, and we know somebody that shoot a good score, the honor system. That's what we call it too. And be like, man, you ain't do that. And some people audibly say it, and some people just say it in their minds. And when the score is tallied up afterwards, and that person or those persons have a good score, they be like, they cheated. They didn't do the honor system. And so it goes to what Miller's saying. They've mastered productivity. And I see what you're saying, Linda. That's why people want them. They want you back in the office because I can leave my computer on, go watch TV, take a nap, as long as I'm producing what I'm supposed to produce. Okay. And I see this is that virtue offices can monitor some employees. Is that virtue you're saying, Minister Rick? They can monitor some employees. But then it goes back to what Linda was saying. Some people cannot be monitored. So that's I guess that's why people want to work from home. All right, and Keisha says, I know people who said their internet went out and what they wanted then came back later. Did what they wanted and came back later. Yeah, I can see that. My internet is out. How you gonna fuss with me? My internet went out. That's a good one. What are you gonna do as long as it don't go out too much or too often? I can see that too, Keisha. The computer here at my job tells when you and what time you logged in, what's the last car you worked on, and what you did to the car. Okay. And I see that, Tanya, but at the same time, it goes back to what Melanie said. Some people have mastered productivity, so they know how to skate around stuff. And then I can see what Linda's saying. That's why they're saying, I need you to come back to the office because maybe everybody's not doing like your company is doing, Tanya. And so Linda's company is saying, and I'm just showing the difference between, I guess. But Linda's company is saying, so come back to the office because I can't monitor you like Tanya's company can. So I need you to be here to make sure that you're not stiffing me. Well, it's pretty obvious that it's an issue, that we got going on here. That's pretty obvious. So now we gotta really work at, y'all, how and we know we gotta pray. There's no way around praying and asking God to to supplement us, to help us, to supply all our needs. But if God chooses to allow us to go through this season of education or testing or processing, whatever we want to call it, then we got to be careful that we don't get out of Christian character. If y'all following what I'm saying, like it's sort of like, and I know I'm jumping from secular to spirituality. While you're right, Linda. No more normal. Everything is out of whack. We got to be careful that. And again, I'm leaving secular and going spiritual. Is that the scriptures say we can't be as those that are without hope. So I mean, if you're not really lined up and really know God like we should know God, it can be frightening, y'all. I know some people now that are in panic mode. I know some people that are not monitoring their travel or their gas or their food, but they are panicking. They're scared. And they say, I'm only going where I need to go. Not knowing that some of the places you're not going is where you need to go. Like check on your parents. Church. Some people, all they doing is going to work. And I ain't taking you nowhere unless you're replacing my gas. Now I'm a believer that if you take me somewhere, I should replace your gas. That's only fair. But I'm just saying, some people are in a panic mode. So we got to be real careful that we don't fall into that panic mode. We got to make sure and be very sure that we stay locked into God, and we got to look out one for another. We got to help one. We got to help one another. Really, we really got to get in the mode to where we got to help one another. Sometime, and this is just me hypothetically thinking. You don't have to do this, but sometime if I have an extra $10, here Tanya, here Minister Rick, here Kiki. I mean, sometimes good is you're going to be rewarded. Hey, y'all know what's really true and really I think we overlook a lot is that when this is really the truth, God ordained this. When you do good things gonna happen to you. I mean, that's really the way God ordained life. When you do good gonna follow you. God calls it whatever man soweth, he's going to reap. But it got a way of catching up with you. Sometimes it don't catch us like all at once, but it has a way of catching up with us. It's the reason why the world call it the Good Samaritan or the Samaritan deed, or there's nonprofits that are called the Samaritan House and things of that nature because they specialize in doing good deed. So Tanya's telling us no need to panic. We have to really see what's happening in this world and prepare ourselves for the what if type of situations. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so right. I gotta prepare myself for whatever. Tanya, why don't you do this? I don't need to be talking on your comment like that. Give me an example of a what if, like an example. And obviously, we have to pray. But I want you to give me an example of one of your what ifs. I got to prepare myself for what if I run out of money or I run short of money, or if you can give us a better heads up, I would appreciate that. And and in the meantime, as Tanya told us earlier, there's really no need to panic, and we can't afford to allow. I guess you can call it the spirit of panic to get a hold of us. I was thinking earlier today, during my meditation time, I was thinking on the scripture where God says, and I guess I no guess to it. He's giving that to me. I'm not in a panic mode, but the way the world is going, if we're not careful, you can get in panic mode. All right. And so he gave me that the scripture just came to me. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but a power to think right, power to do right, of love. And what really stood out to me is a sound mind. In other words, keep my mind together during times when others are panicking. All right, Tanya says, when the shelves at Walmart come empty, I started preparing myself for the what if we run out of food situation, and stocked up my deep freezers in the garage and in the basement. I started stocking up paper towels, tissues, canned goods, stuff that I have a use here. That I'm a user here out. All right. That's a good point. That's a very good point, because I know many of us have went to the stores. I noticed about 2 months ago, I went to Kroger's and the shelves were somewhat bare. My sister Nell told me, she said, go to Myers. I went to Myers and the shelves were just as bare. I couldn't wait to call Nell and tell her. I say Myers shelves was just as bare as Kroger shelves. So good point, Tanya. Yeah, that's a very good point. All right, Linda said, asked the question: could fear be replaced with economic or lack of fear? COVID fear. COVID fear. I'm sorry. COVID fear replaced with good question or statement or comment, Linda, because COVID definitely brought about fear. And since COVID somewhat seems to be under control, she's saying, we're replacing this with economic or a lack fear. Like, I guess you're saying I lack money for gas, I lack money for food, I lack money for all of the extras, in the women's case, um, nails and, toes and all that kind of stuff. So, a lack. Yeah, I know one thing it'll make us do. It'll make us start learning how to do stuff. Like I'm telling you that Pastor Brenda, she's been going to the store, buying all kind of stuff she can plant and grow herself. And because she told me it was something she went to purchase a little while back, and the price was just ridiculous. And she was just telling me yesterday, she said she went and bought some plants or seeds or whatever, some kind of vegetables that she's planted, because of the ridiculous prices, the escalating prices of everything. So, we got to make sure the Bible tells us that we got to be wise as serpents and harmless as lambs, and we cannot afford to allow the spirit of fear to reign. That's right, Linda. The spirit of fear is still trying to reign, and so we cannot afford to allow the spirit of fear to reign in our lives. So, let's make sure that we're sound. And you know what, y'all, and again, this is real talk we're having tonight. Um, I never thought that I would see the condition of the world in the state that is in now. And this is what's crazy. Probably our parents, whatever they saw, they probably said, I never thought I'd see the state of our world in the state that is in now. What they saw was new to them, just like what we're seeing is new to us. They made it, helping one another out, praying for one another. It would be so good if we had, I guess, like how during Christmas and Thanksgiving we have a box, and if people is lacking, we have a pantry. People can come to the pantry and just get things out to make a meal. Wouldn't it be really good if we had a box, a financial box, financial pantry that we can go into and pull finances out to help us with all of our utilities and car notes and house notes and things of that nature? That would be phenomenal. So I don't know. Maybe God's going to give one of y'all an idea or vision to get stuff like that done, because it's definitely something that that's a need, and I know you all remember, years ago, you used to hear it a lot. You don't hear it much now, but it take a village to raise a child, and that was because of everybody helped out, everybody pitched in. Think about this. Maybe some of y'all too young to remember, but I can remember my mother, my neighbors, actually my parents' neighbors coming by the house. Can I borrow a cup of sugar? Can I borrow some bread? How are you going to pay back some bread and sugar? But that's the terminology they use for, like, give me some bread. Give me, because they knew that they can go to the other neighbor and do the same thing. Can I borrow? It's like they're borrowing money, but they were borrowing food. They would use the word borrow, but they weren't taking it back, So anyway, it would be good for us to be able to share like that, but people don't share like that no more. Unfortunately, I've been staying where I've been staying close to 20 years, and my neighbor moved in probably about 6 months before me. He saved, he and his wife, good people, Caucasians, beautiful people. When Pastor and I renewed our wedding vows at 25 years, they came to our East Side location, and we rarely talk. Rarely talk. That's the kind of society that we're in. And it's not because he ain't got nothing to say to me and I don't have nothing to say to him. One of the reasons is we're always moving. When he's outside, he's working on his pool or his yard. When I'm outside, I'm doing something. So it's rare that we catch each other doing nothing. We can stop. Let me just give you an example. I literally stopped him a couple weeks ago because he works for the Mac 2 company, and he brings the huge truck in the community every so often. Look like a motorhome. But anyway, I know that he's real savvy when it comes to stuff. So when my car was, the smoke was coming out of the pipes, the exhaust, he got under it and looked under it and did all of the stuff, told me what was wrong after I brought it back from the other dealership. And the dealership is at now, he recommended it, but he stopped. Like that's the way we communicate. We'll have to really like stop one another. And so you don't have the flow like we had out, and maybe some of y'all are like this, but I can remember my daddy and mama talking to neighbors, just talking, holding conversations. It's hard to find people. I'm sure people do it, but you don't see it like you used to. So anyway, that sort of got rid of the theory. It takes a village to raise a child, because the village is separated now. The village is still here, but it's separated. So anyway, it's gonna take a little work and a little effort for us to get it back together. Hey, y'all, I gotta get ready to get off the air. I appreciate y'all so very much. Listen, we'll be back at 9 o'clock tonight. Monday is just my broadcast night. We do reliable sources. Next week, we're going to really dive into habits, how to break them, how to develop them. Where do they come from unconsciously? We're going to deal with a lot of that on next week. So y'all, please tune in, get the word around, help me get the word around. And tonight, again, at 9 o'clock, we're going to take a break. I'll be talking about Zuma. And so if you want to get on the site and you want to get the truth about water, if you don't get involved, some great new information that we talk about water. And it'll be good for you just to know, just so you can have. So a lot of people don't know stuff. Like, for instance, today, I'll give you this right before we get off the air. I was with Deacon Thompson for a while, and he gave me a bottle of Gatorade. The Gatorade was hot. And when I got it, I told him, I said, hey, man, you got to be careful drinking hot beverages in these plastic bottles, because they're made out of petroleum. And sometimes the petroleum leaks back into the beverage, be it water or Gatorade or pop or whatever it is. And when the petroleum goes back in, there's cancer-causing products in it's petroleum. And so, you just have to be careful. So anyway, we'll be dealing with stuff like that. And please be careful now, because a lot of your water, they store it outside. You can see it in gas stations, or it's in a hot outside at the grocery store. Be careful and don't leave hot water in your garage or outside. Get it, take it loose, stick it in your freezer, refrigerator, let it be cool, and drink it like that if you're not going to deal with Zoom. Anyway, we're going to talk about the product and some of their products. So I want you to make sure that you tune in if you want to come on, because it's a Zoom presentation. It's about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It's a Zoom presentation. If you want to get on, shoot me a text, and I'll shoot you the information so you can get on. All right. God bless. Thank you. Love you much. Have a blessed night. And remember, if your source is reliable, but they telling you a lie, they're relying. And we're going to go to. God bless you. We'll see you next time.